Celestian Tales, the realms beyond. So we are now kicking things off properly. We'll talk to a few people before we actually head out. Actually, we'll do the whole scene. We'll do Mudtown properly. Don't you see what's up in the sky? Soon the church will need a whole lot of candles and incense for prayers. Those are what we should stock up on. Reference to the ceremony. By the time you return, the Sky Mother's tear will have passed. You dimwit. Buy those in bulk and we drown not just in wax, but also in debt. I don't know if it's tear or tear. I want to say tear because she's supposed to be weeping or something like that. One of the downsides of homophones. On this side of Levantine's port, ships heading out get checked. As you can see, there's not as much activity as on the other side. Always send out our grains and cured meats anyway. No point in checking the crates too diligently, right? These are crystals, I think. Amber. Amber, that is either a defense up or an attack up. A week home, 2 on the ship, another one in some town we'll dock at, and then 2 more for the journey back. When I was young, that kind of adventure felt like the best kind of life. After 20 years, though, it's starting to feel a bit tiring. Looks like we have 1 too many barrels of wine. Should check them over again. There's a merchant who's missing one. I don't know if we'll actually find that guy, because if I miss the one, I can't promise I'll actually find this one. Anyway, to the library. There's a couple books of interest here. In case you're wondering, yes, I did read all of them. Well, we'll start here. Greetings, Iron Companions. The library is, of course, free of charge for you. Without your support, we wouldn't even have one. Feel free to read as much as you want. Not everybody's here for the books. I, for one, really enjoy these cakes. No. These results make no sense. There must be something wrong in the equation somewhere. I should run the numbers again. Rhythms of the Northern Giants by Artur Durandal. Long have I yearned for the attention an artist receives when playing on a stage, yet when the time came, eyes fell upon me from all directions. I did not expect it to happen that way. You might have been baffled when you heard the news, but 'tis true, the Enders' War was won through music that flowed like a river from the strings of my lute into an ocean that was their own. Yes, they stole the ending from Macross. The Enders, like larger armies of the Outer Realms, use rhythm to stir the spirits of their warriors. They also use music for rituals, and they seem to revere musicians as some kind of shamans. Curiously, for a culture so engrossed in music, they do not have any instruments of their own. Instead, they use body parts such as slapping their arms or chest in addition to grunts and shouts. Perhaps the choice is considered pure in a way the music is made using nothing but our own flesh and mind. It is mesmerizing to hear, and I pity those who have never heard it firsthand. The Growth of Levantine by Roche Horowitz. While the main body of the pioneers, led by House Belenus and House Durandal, continued on deeper into the realm, a small group stayed behind to settle an outpost past the Cavern of Sylphs. Few would have known at that time that there was no other point of entry into the Old North than the caves. As the realm grew, the outpost became a bustling bottleneck of trade. With taxes taken from those passing through, it was no wonder that the largest mercantile families in the outpost became rich, perhaps richer than they ever imagined possible. The Levants were so financially strong that they paid almost single-handedly for the construction of a city carved into the mountains, a fortress that would defend against threats from the mainland. And of course, merchants from being merchants, they named after themselves. The Garot's Shroud by historian Ralph Valdo. I don't know if these names are Kickstarter backers or what. Of course, Artur Durandal's from the first game. Among the 3 divine swords, the Garot has no doubt the grisliest history. From the fearsome Rainmaker to Severin LaRue, it has been used for more public killings than the Durandal and Faithkeeper combined. Some assume that it's because the Levant bloodline has a tendency for violence. I, for one, do not agree with that. Severin does not have any Levant blood in him, yet he was a madman then. Such aggression has something to do with the Garot. I cannot know for sure what it does, as the sword is well guarded from many hands, and perhaps it is so precisely because of its abilities. The implications are massive. It would mean that the other 2 divine swords also have powers of their own. Could it be that their powers prove Deus is much closer to us than we ever imagined? So this is a reference to Howl the Ravager if you have not played it yourself. Severin was possessed by the Garot at points, becoming more vicious. Can't remember Elian's father's name, but he had the Faith Keeper, I think? He had one of them and was driving him towards pacifism. It's the... Yeah, I can't remember if it's the Faithkeeper or the Durandal. I want to say it was the Faithkeeper, but the swords take their toll on their wielders, just in case you weren't familiar with with some of the stuff in the series. The Summerlight Gardens by nature scholar is Skandar. Few humans have ever returned from the Summerlight Gardens, save those who merely glimpse its beauty from the outside with fear. It is the elven home where fey creatures reside and play tricks upon travelers. Some say that once you walk past a certain river, there is no going back. What lies beyond that river is unknown, but we can deduce hints from what survivors encounter. Fey creatures such as fairies and spirits tend to use magic that confuses their victims, making them weak and disoriented. They can cause loss of direction and even sap strength. This kind of magic, amplified in a limited area, may be what awaits travelers past the river. Elven physiology may develop a resistance, but humans remain very susceptible. As an endnote, should this essay not be convincing enough for you to stay away from that place, let me say it in a simpler phrase. Do not attempt to enter the Summerlight Gardens. Great advice considering who we're going to be going up against for the first boss. Anyway, there's an accessory that you can pick up here. It's in one of the houses. I don't remember which one. Let's check the ale house. This is the new crafting system thing. I'll show that in the next video. Is it the next video, or do we have to do something here? You have to make the key eventually by... I want to say that's the... Yeah, that's gotta be the next video, because we need that to get into the bandits lockbox. In case you're wondering, we're gonna fight the fairies as the first boss. We'll do the bandits in the next video, and some more scenes. So our goal in this video is to work on the dress, and then the second video will be the Guru. Bright red crystal. Oh, one other thing. This is being recorded on release day of the game. There is a glitch in the game where you cannot bring in your previous save data. So as a result, none of my choices actually mattered. I may replay it, we'll see. We have a rusted crystal here. And I'm assuming the honor medals are actually in the game now. I do not know if any of them are hidden in houses. That's the accessory I was looking for. I can slap that on... I'm thinking Elian. Maybe that is a dedicated armor slot, and then 2 accessory slots. So that boosts her defense a little bit, allowing her to withstand some shots. Just want to make sure that you cannot interact with these bookshelves. To be completely honest, I do not even know if the honor medals are in the game at all. Like, if there's even plans to put them in if they're not. That was something for the first game, I guess, and I assumed it'd be carried over. If you want Evie to make a dress for you, be prepared to get in line. I heard it's a half year wait till she finishes all her current orders. Have you heard of Evie the tailor in Grenoble? The colors of her dresses are amazing. That's the person we're going to talk to. So if you cross this bridge, you should be back in familiar territory. I want to just go over here to look to see if there's any honor medals anywhere. We'll duck in here real quick. And then you also want to just search the houses for cooking ingredients, since you do have to make bread. You always have the option to buy the ingredients too, I think, but they're just obscenely priced. So yes, we're in the area of Levant from the first game. Not gonna worry about the upgrade weapons things, because I know I don't have the stuff. Just got a Steam notification. Like crystals, those are necessary for the fairy fight because you do not have Arya. So our plan is going to be use Delian's regen and then supplement that with crystals. As a result, you need crystals. The good news to all this is you will have Lucienne to use. Just make sure you give her stuff to boost her defense, and then she can withstand some beating, I guess. Like, I'm thinking to go really heavy in her defense, maybe give her a pair of pauldrons. Make her look like something on a Langrisser, you know? Because otherwise, she does risk getting one rounded. And then depending on how turn order plays out, just want to make sure there's anything hidden here in the blind spot. You could get something very favorable with Elian, so you can like, milk the region like no tomorrow, but we'll see. Elven Bow 2.
The other reason why I wanted to replay this was because on account of release, I figured they'd put more stuff in there because I do not think that bow was there on my beta build. And my beta build is gone now, so I cannot verify. Just keep in mind, if I were to load it just to look at it, it would, like, the bow would be there now. I wouldn't be able to tell. I'd have to actually consult any sort of recordings I had from beforehand. That Lady Alana's companions actually do a better job of ruling the realm than Lord Levant did. I know a few people who took the risk of buying houses in the city when prices tumbled. They must be swimming in labor by now. When Lord Levant died, I thought the Levant realm was en route for a steep downhill ride. I mean, how can somebody think otherwise after that horrible day? So I quickly pulled my investments out of Levante and invested all my lever somewhere else. Talk about a wrong move. What can we say? Camille knows what she's doing. Here's the Wolf's Claw, much bigger than it used to be. Want to hear a joke? When is a door not a door? When it's open. Wait, let me try that again. Gross, where'd you learn to talk like that? Even the sky when there's tears in as bright as your eyes, darling. Gotta give the guy points for trying. I was but a kid when you returned from the Ender's War. Now 9 years later, so remember the moment you stood up there basking in the light of glory. Great, will you let me through? As it is, I'm kind of wondering if I even need to make a guide for this. Like, the honor medals were the big missable thing from the first game. Egg and flour. These are more crystals. It's the church. We still can now walk out into the graveyard. Anyway, let's go to the castle. We'll pick up the group and then we'll go to Mudtown. Actually, yeah, that's right. The first boss is going to be that one boar. The second one will be the fairy. Well, we can knock them both out. Then have the bandits be third. If that's the news, when there's been crying as her children fight each other, I can cut that off before I can read all of it. Wonder if the day she stops shedding tears will ever come. The day the battle ends, the day Deus and Dea make peace. The way the Church and the Inquisition hunt heretics right now, I suppose we'll all be dead by the time that happens. Did I go in there? Let's duck in here real quick just to make sure. Yeah, there's something in the fireplace. Behold. All that running around has made me hungry. I wonder what's for dinner. The sun's still high and you're already thinking about food? Don't we all live to eat, Arya? If we don't eat, we'll die. If you think about it clearly, food is the meaning of life. If the castle schedule was up to me, we wouldn't need to wait until noon from noon until sundown to eat. There should be another meal in between, a snack hour. Ooh, snacks. How will we have one after this? I'm starving. No, you don't, young lady. You've got to watch your weight or we have to make a whole new set of clothes for you. Come on, don't be so strict to her, and I'm also hungry. Maybe we can have a bite after this. How does that sound? How about we drink some nice, warm Nibanan tea instead? We can add some milk and honey, too. That should fill you up until sundown. But we can't chew tea. Don't worry, my lady. Later, when no evil anti-food tyrants are around, this little knight of yours will come to save the day with tasty treats. Just tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. Bread, fruit, chicken, maybe? All three? I want some fruit, please. Fresh, sweet, mouth-watering berries picked straight from the mountains are the best. They absolutely are. That's decided, my most loyal knight. Bring us some fruit to nibble on. Your wish is my command, my lady. Now let's just wait until the coast is clear. In case nobody noticed, I'm still standing right here. Oh no, it's the evil anti-food tyrant. Hide behind me, my lady. I shall protect you. Protect me, brave Sir Renard. Am I the only adult around here? Just roll with it, Arya. You've no hope of changing them. Isaac, Lucien. How long have you two been here? Were you watching us all along? Of course. While you were all busy bantering, we were here trying to muffle our laughter. Dial it down a bit, Renard. Poor Arya will start getting wrinkles soon from having to take care of you every day. I can't help teasing people who take life too seriously. I mean, look at that silky face. How am I supposed to resist? I
wonder how Camille manages to endure being around Renard and Alana all the time. They're practically the same age. Speaking of Camille, I don't see her. Is she already in the audience chamber? We were just there with Lady Sophia. She asked us to look for her. We thought she might be with you. Must be spending the day in the library again, that girl. She really needed somebody to shove her out into the sun. Since the rest of us are here already, let's look for her together. We can't start the weekly meet without our treasure, now can we? And there you go, you get Lucien and Isaac / Reed. Right, red crystal, revival item. That can be handy for the bandit fight because he hits pretty hard. Anyway, I'm just doing a sweep here because I imagine some things have changed. Geese Arm 2, that's Lucien's spear. Okay, it's a 15-point difference between the two. Makes me wonder if there's like tier 2 weapons for everyone here. It saves you the money of upgrading, I guess. Like, those can be handy for low-level games, because otherwise I have to do some grinding to get items to sell to get the money to either buy the things that did drop, or just to flat-out pay the assembly cost of the item. Thank you for accepting my request to Squire, my liege. I'll use this chance to learn as much as I can from you. We'll ask about her origins. Remind me about yourself and where you came from, Clemens. I am the only daughter of House Montreseau, my liege. My family has a humble mansion in Gotland. We own several production houses where our craftsmen make silver goods for the church and nobility. Look closely and you'll find our family's crest on all the tableware, cutlery, and candlesticks in this castle. So your family is in Gotland. Why do you not Squire for House Belanus? Wouldn't that also strengthen your house's relations? It would, you're right. That was also my parents' line of thought. They want me to do exactly that. But if I weren't Belanus, I'd be spending my time gossiping, pretending to be interested in mundane troubles. I wanted my squiring to be useful. I wanted to learn something. And as I thought, the things taught in this castle are much more practical. Though I have to admit I was pretty skeptical when you told me to gather horse dung. That was how the late Lord Levant taught us. We were just forwarding his wisdom. You have a good attitude, Clemens. Keep it up and you'll be a good noblewoman. Will do, my liege, thank you. And then we can keep going if we want, but I'll leave some things for the people who want to play the games themselves. Have a good day, Clemens. And you, my liege. So right here I'm just fishing for sparklies, anything that's kind of hard to see. My liege, what are you doing up here on the Battlements? What are you guys doing? We're in the middle of the freaking ocean. Nothing to report, my liege. Busy, busy, busy. So I think originally the kitchen was in the bottom right-hand corner, but now it's over here. It's my turn to get some rest, but I can't sleep. We mostly have our own batch of food, except for when we make for the nobles. We also eat leftovers from your table sometimes. Leftovers mean the cooking wasn't very good that day. If that happens too often, other cooks will take our place. Looking for something to nibble on, my liege. Yesterday evening, some night patrols report hearing sounds coming from the storeroom. There's no way a thief can get in, so it must be rats. Well, it could also be ghosts, I suppose. Daniels, I really hope it's a ghost. I can't stand rats. They're disgusting. And remember, if it's a ghost, who are you gonna call? That's right, someone else. Longsword 2. So that's for Arya here. Like, Arya's gonna be healing during the bandit fight. I would need a weapon for Renard in order to really get the most of things. Camille doesn't seem to be here. Maybe she's reading in her room? And yeah, they won't let me in the library. We'll have to come back here after we get Camille, I guess. Get around the corner there, Arya. Look at those dirty plates. I understand Master Ruff wants to read a book in his room, but to eat too? Damn, Yelian splashed colors all over her table again, huh? Guess it's time to go to the store and pick a replacement while we clean this one. So this is Yelian's room, as the paint there tells you. I don't know who has the other rooms. They all look the same for the most part, with the exception of the one with the sleeping person in it, you know? Welcome to enter the ladies' chamber, Otter companions. Bright red crystal, magenta crystal. Can't start the meeting without Camille. And they threw me out the other door. Oh man. Something, no respect, I tell ya. Anyway, let's go grab her. Overworked yourself again, huh? There were a few things she had to read up on after our visit to Grenoble. Trade deals, shipping reports, that kind of stuff. You know how it is with her, never able to leave work unfinished. Must be tough being a night owl. Everyone else's life starts when the sun goes up, but your head only works after it's gone down again. Still not a good reason to keep Lady Sophia waiting. Young lady, can you wake her up using that skill I taught you? What skill? You mean, oh, that skill. I've been waiting for a chance to use it. Huh? What? Stop it. Alana, what did you just do? Isaac taught me this trick. It really worked. Why do all of you teach her this stuff instead of actual useful knowledge? She's Lady Lavant for Deus' sake, not some circus animal who taught petty tricks. I'm more interested in how Isaac knows these things about Camille. Are you two actually closer than I thought? Well, one of my jobs is to find out which buttons to push. Sometimes it just happens to be more literal. We should start the weekly meeting soon. And we can't start without you. Oh shoot, I forgot. I'll just grab these papers and these two and these. Alright, that should be everything. Shall we go? The bags under your eyes can be seen from a mile away. Are you sure you don't want to wash up first? I'll be fine, but not to keep the Countess Regent waiting. Let's go then to the audience chamber. There you go, the band is back together again. Can we go in here now? I was wondering if there were any books that you could read, but I guess not. These books collect dust so easily, I have to take them out every month to clean the shelves. Since you can't read, it's really tough putting them back where they belong. We have to go this way. Welcome back, companions. Alana, how have your travels fared this week? You look happy, Alana. Did something good happen while you were out with the companions? We did some fun things this morning, Mother. Nothing too naughty, I hope. Definitely not, isn't that right, companions? Absolutely, my lady. Nothing but good-hearted, totally safe fun. I trust you wouldn't do otherwise, Sir Renard. Well then, shall we start this week's discussion? The train of Fort Griveau's civilians progressed well, my lady. This 13th batch is now sufficiently skilled to teach newcomers. I think we found the pace now. If we keep this up, the Leroux will be able to take care of all their self-defense training themselves. The Leroux have been struggling to keep their villages safe ever since the disarmament. I'm happy that our militia program has been successful in alleviating the problem. It's been 6 years since we started this initiative. What are your thoughts on how it's fared so far? After the incident right here in this room, House Leroux became practically deserted. Their people, most of whom were soldiers, were either jailed or exiled for treason. Some turned to banditry to escape punishment and began ransacking the very villages they once defended. House Leroux was in terrible shame. But at this moment I can proudly say they've recovered. They're perhaps not on par with their former glory, but they've made substantial progress, thanks in no small part to us. I agree. Last batch is doing great, and this is but the beginning for the Leroux, the new House Leroux under Lupin's rule. I think we should ride the wave and push harder. What do you think of adding more prizes to this year's archery and staff sparring competitions? That's a good idea, Sir Renard. A bigger prize will spur people to train harder. If our finances allow, I shall agree to it right away. Dame Camille? Depending on the skill we're playing for this year's tournaments, we should be able to make space for it, Your Highness. There's also a surplus from Grenoble's cash crop, which I'll get into later, but it would be better if, for example, the tournament offered goods instead of just monetary prizes. That's even better. I was just thinking about that, since past winners often blew their prize money on drinks. I'll coordinate further logistics with Camille, Lady Sophia. I assure you, this year's tournament will be greater than ever before. I'll leave it to you then. I trust you'll make things happen. Anything else from you two? Nothing else for now, my lady. What about your travels to Grenoble's, Dame Camille, Sir Isaac? Several trade ships have returned from the Queendom and its neighboring nations, my lady. I oversaw their instructions myself, and all is in order. As I mentioned before, there's a surplus of goods, specifically Nibanan-made exotic weapons such as swords and bows. The traders manage to snatch them up cheap, but they're worried there may not be enough buyers here. We can buy them in bulk for a bargain if we'd like. For our armory, perhaps. House LaRue would be drooling all over them, especially with their growing strength. But since they're banned from having weapons... Oh, they make perfect rewards for this year's tournament. Imagine all the boasts they'll be able to make with exotic weapons in their hands. That'd be fine, wouldn't it? Those prizes are for individuals, after all, not the house itself. Even if that doesn't work, I'm sure we can make use of them one way or another. By all means, please make the purchase. I'll see to where they can be employed. Understood. I will finalize the deal in several days. In the meantime, please make some space in our armory. On another topic, I'm currently reviewing House Ryan's proposal for a new expedition to the southern continents. This time they're expecting herbs and spices to be the main commodities. Daniel's pretty confident in the profits, but we'll have to review it as we go. Herbs and spices? It's past time for our realm to make food with better flavors, I agree, but why this particular choice? Seems my brother's taken up reading books on exotic lands. They sparked his interest in trying for something new. Reading sounds more like the previous Lord Ryan's hobby than the new one. Has Daniel come to see things your father's way, Camille? The exact words from his mouth were, "Girls love discussing this stuff." I see. That does indeed sound like him. Some people never change, no? Either way, I hope the expedition proves successful. It may prove to be a boon for the whole of the Old North. What about you, Isaac? Is there anything new you'd like to report? We found an infestation on a trade ship. Camille and I took care of the sores, and let the harbor officials take care of the rest. Oh, and some bandits were disposed of. Bandits? I understand. You need not explain more. Thank you for your reports, Dame Camille, Sir Isaac. At your service, my lady. Let us move on to other matters, then. What news did you bring from Godland, Dame Aria and Dame Elian? I presume it regards the Day of Sorrow. Indeed, my lady. As we know, the Sky Mother's tear has graced our skies for a few days now. It marks Knave's unending sorrow as her two children continue to fight their eternal war. The clerics have calculated the tear's apex to occur in exactly a fortnight, and have designated that as the moment for the ritual of the Day of Sorrow. We should start the necessary preparations as soon as possible. There are many things to do before we go to Godland. I don't think anybody here knows quite what to do, what with the ritual occurring only once every 70-something years. Would you care to elaborate, Arya? Certainly, my lady. The full length of the Day of Sorrow ceremony involves a staggering number of small details. Fortunately, as the host, House Belinus will take care of most of them. What we need to properly understand and prepare for is the main ritual, the joining of the sacred swords. At the precise moment when the tear reaches its apex, the three blade bearers shall stand upon an altar. Saying prayers to Deus Valorus, each shall raise the sacred sword entrusted to their respective house, which shall shine in glorious light as they come to unity. This represents mankind upholding the three values of the Deus, our one true God. Our house's very own sacred sword Garo embodies the virtue of courage. House Durandal will bring its sword it is named after, the Durandal, which embodies the virtue of temperance. And House Belinus will bring Faithkeeper, embodying the virtue of justice. Very good, Dame Aria. As expected, you're surely the most knowledgeable about our realm's lore among all of us in this room. One question, however, must it be the blade bearers themselves who join the swords? Having Alana wield the sacred sword seems... I understand what you mean, Lady Sophia. That sword is way too big for her hands. I'm sure the right can allow exceptions. This must not be the first time a Day of Sorrow came at a time when a blade bearer was still a child. Perhaps Lady Sophia, in her role as Countess Regent, could substitute for Alana and raise the sword. I shall see if we can find a way to work around it. As Isaac said, there must be religious records from clerics of the past to learn from. However, the current administration of the church is quite rigid, to say the least. It is therefore best to prepare Alana for the occasion just in case. Please do all you can to ensure an alternative, Arya. I don't feel safe allowing Alana to wield Garo. I've been doing combat training with Lucienne, Mother. I can hold a sword for a minute or two. I'm sure you could, sweetheart, but Garo is of a different weight than your trained weapons, in both a literal and a figurative sense. If there's any other choice, we should choose the safer option, agreed? promise to do my best, my lady. Meanwhile, there are several other things we must prepare for the rites. For one, we must prepare 2 cups of purified water taken from the most pristine sources that are as far apart from each other as possible. There's also the matter of the lady's ceremonial dress, and of course we must ensure the sacred sword itself is in proper condition to be shown. So many things to do, and all just for a one-day ritual. Most of us will never see the tear again in our lifetimes. Such a rare event must be celebrated properly. Alright, let's focus on one thing at a time. For the purified water, where can we find suitable sources? One of the sources will be from the glaciers of World's End. House Durandal, who will be coming with the sacred sword Durandal, has agreed to take care of it. As for us, water from the mountain range where this very city stands will prove sufficient. We only have to visit Mudtown to access the spring. Are we going to walk Mudtown? Can I go with you? You have things to prepare for the rituals, Alana. There are prayers to memorize and train undergo in order to hold the sword. But the ritual's still 2 weeks away. Can't I start tomorrow? Promise I'll get everything done in time. Sir Renard, my most loyal knight, come to my aid and help your lady convince her most trusted companions. Guys, come on. We all know the lady's a quick learner. She deserves to be cut some slack, don't you think? You keep spoiling Alana like this, Renard. She's going to get used to it. Look, a walk to Mudtown's just an hour or 2. That much time won't really matter in the grand scale of things, will it? It's got a point there, and you've got to give to Renard to find reasons for Alana to have fun. It can't be all work and no play. Very well, my lady. You can come with us to Mudtown. Fine. But after we shall drop her off with the water at the cathedral while we prepare the other items, and no more wasting time before the ceremony, agreed? Agreed. Let's go right away. Very well, straight to Mudtown we go. The mountain path leading there is on the side of the cathedral on the east side of the city. Safe travels to all of you. May Deus guide your every step. Now, since this is kind of like the first video oh, there you go, Act 1. So that was not in the beta. I'm gonna throw together a party with the superior weapons. You're out, you're in. Maybe there's stuff's in Mudtown, we'll see. I will show some of the fights. I'll do the Mudtown stuff, but after that we'll edit out stuff. We get in a fight with a bear when you're leaving Mudtown, just so you know what to expect. It's not really anything nasty. You don't even need Lucien to really deal with it. Like, it's not that hard to need. Okay, Mudtown is exactly where you left it. The route's the same, the treasures locations are all the same, so if you're really familiar with the first game, you should breeze through this. So you can see the enemy sprites are still the same, the little shadow thing. Holy crap, that was loud. Anyway, the boas will drop leather. That's the most valuable drop at this stage of the game. You can sell it for like 750 livre each. At least you could in the beta. I would not be surprised if they nerfed that because it's ridiculous. Doing this just to burn stamina. It does about as much as a regular attack does. I think it's a little less. So that was her passive block. That was not Arya's shield, so it's not consumed if you look on the right side there. 90 EXP, everyone levels up at the exact same time. We only got 1 leather from that. Okay, that has me a little concerned. But one takeaway from all this is that jerk. You're not going to level up here without quite a bit of grinding. It's a little bit better when you get to the bandit area. I actually did 2 levels there. You have to do like 12 fights each for it, but yeah, it's not that bad. It also gives you a chance to stock up on resources and stuff, so you have that going for you. Just like in the previous game, you heal up after every fight, so damage doesn't really matter. The thing is, if you go down and you do not use a crystal to revive someone, they are wounded, they lose like 10% of their max HP. That you want to avoid. If someone gets wounded, you have to take them to the church to heal. And that hunter wasn't too bad. We got a crystal drop of all things. Got 2 tusks and leather. So we actually could get Arya's upgraded sword once we get to Babat. We can buy the metal, unless they put more metal shops out, I don't know. So that one attacked. One attacked. No, she does not really have anything. Like, she has the upgraded weapon, but I'm seriously thinking, would I be better off having Renard or Isaac Reed, or we're gonna call him, in that spot? But if those still sell for what they used to, stacking upon them now was extremely helpful. I hate that damn sound effect. I believe the boas can poison, even though the boa constrictor is something that smothers its prey to death. Yeah, I'll save the tyrant for later. Do this, try and knock this off. Ah, crit. Took off a third of her health. So yeah, it looks like their damage is a little bit less than it was in the beta. But one thing I did reference in one of the videos is it's very, very common in sequel JRPGs, especially where there's data carryover, to where the beginning of the game is horribly, horribly unbalanced because they're expecting you to have stuff, they're trying to compensate if you don't, and it is a mess. The examples I offer for this are, of course, any Legend of Heroes game. Sky 2, Steel 2. I have yet to play through Azure to comment if that's the same way, but with the way they did the Master Chord system, I think that one may actually do it right. But yeah, Xenosaga 2 had a lot of problems with that just being like the icing on the cake. So in case you're wondering, for the bear you actually do get to pick your party, but for the fairies and the bandits you do not. The enemies attack based off an invisible aggro stat. Isaac and Lucian can all influence that with various moves. So right there we get a nice little repository of healing items, which comes in handy for the fairy fight. Yeah, that thing is silenced. Down it goes. Arya's sword upgrades need tusks, so getting them now is actually pretty helpful. Save some money. Mudtown! So if you saw Lucian and Renard's prologue, you know Cameron sold the house and left. You know, the Six was walking to Mudtown like this reminds me of our first task with Squires at Levantine. The one where you accompanied that cart? I like that one, you know. Definitely a memorable first task, if you ask me. Yes, that one. I have to admit, it wasn't the kind of training I expected from House Levant. Lord Levant's ways were odd, but we can't deny that he had good lessons to teach us. Our duties extend beyond balls and wars, after all. Quidditch. Speaking of that day reminds me of the sickening scent. I had to wash it 3 times that evening to be rid of it. Come on, Arya, it's not the worst you've been through. Remember the time when Alana was still a baby? You just held her in your arms, and she... Yes, I remember clearly. Thank you for bringing that up again. Huh? What did I do back then? Nothing worth discussing further, milady. please, can we just get on with what we were supposed to be doing? Alright, have mercy on poor Arya. She's had enough teasing for now. The river flowing through the village comes from a mountain spring, and that's where we should get our water from. There should be a path uphill leading to the spring on the other side of the village. Remember, when you get the water, that's when it's bear time. So if you want to go back and hawk things for booze money, this is your chance. Good day, our companions. Here for an inspection? The river flows directly from the Great White Serpent. It's always so clear and it feels incredibly refreshing to drink. Ew, green vegetables are disgusting. Yuck. Smack that kid around for me. Throwing tantrums will help you, little monster. Now sit down and eat your vegetables. Let's get out of here before we become witnesses to child abuse. What a surprise to see all the companions here. Usually we just see Sir Isaac and Dame Melian around these parts. This village is so peaceful, I don't even know what a soldier like me is doing here. Just want to make sure there's anything hiding up here. There was an honor medal in the trees back here in the first game, but we can't even go up there anymore. Village life can be a bit boring at times. Hey, we always have something to eat and a roof over our heads. What else do you really need? With left-handed soldiers periodically patrolling the village outskirts, foraging in the mountain is not as dangerous as it used to be. Now I can find mushrooms, nuts, and sometimes even rabbits to feed my family. It's all thanks to your wisdom, on our companions. This house used to belong to another family, but all of them left Mudtown one after another. The white-haired son was the last to leave. Don't they know the world outside is dark and full of danger? Why would anyone want to leave this peaceful village? That was Cameron. So if you remember, down here was a Story's house. We should go check and see how that's doing, shouldn't we? Just want to make sure there's anything here. Okay. We can cut through this. What happened to the house? Strange. How does one lose a house? When Lord Levant passed away, many of us villagers were worried about whether 6 young nobles could properly take the reins of the realm. Apparently we were worried for nothing. Lord Levant would have been proud of you, companions. Man, there's nothing here. This is a kick in the teeth and then some. So one of the villagers talked about burning Astori's house down. Which one was it? He used to work at the Ox 11, but when a boy sold this farm cheap, I decided to start a living here. Typo there. Here feels fresh. It's so different than in the city. Lovely, isn't it? I used to come here and play with Bunyip when I had spare time. How long has it been since I last hiked this far? A year, maybe? They hadn't even begun construction of the aqueduct back then. A year ago, huh? It's back when Arya had to deal with the church to even get the project started. Convincing those pompous old clerics that this wasn't some kind of religious building proved to be much harder than I could have imagined. Lupin certainly wasted no time commencing building after the church's approval, though I'm honestly impressed that he has made us so much progress in so little time. No matter what people say about Lupin, he is still a LaRue, one taught directly by his father, the Ravager himself. I was worried House LaRue would crumble, being toothless and all. Glad to see my cousin holding the seat well after the fallout. As Lupin did his part leading the LaRue, we too must do ours for Levant. And in the short term, that means you doing well at the Day of Sorrow, Alana. If you show fear and weakness, the hundreds who watch will judge House Levant weak. If you show strength and courage, then so they will judge us. Are you up to the task, my lady? I am, and even at this very moment I am not. I will be when the moment comes. After all, that's the only answer a sovereign can give when facing adversaries, isn't that right, Camille? You've learned well. Now let's go get that water, shall we? This is where the bear fight is, like right here. 84, 85, 80... You say something? Wait, where was I? Deus, this much still to go? I think I'm getting old. Good day, companions. Here to inspect us? Sparkly objects that could be an honor medal, but I don't see anything. So this is it? The source of the mountain's pure water? I was expecting something more mystical, honestly. You mean flickering fairies and magic dust sparkling in the water? No way you're gonna see either of those outside of the Summerlight Gardens. Yeah, but we walked all the way here and it ends with just kneeling to scoop some water? How underwhelming. Pure spring water obtained. I mean, come on, a rabid bear, a giant plant, man-eating plant, anything. Or a rabbit boar, a giant man-eating plant, anything. Every quest has to end with some kind of battle. I don't know about the rest of you, but I like to have as many peaceful days as possible in my life. So while the stroll can end on that note, let's hurry and return to... By Deus, it's a bear! Help! Now that's what I'm talking about. Let's roll, guys. Duty calls. I'm afraid he has issues. Took you guys long enough. Neither the bear nor I were gonna wait, you know. Oh, did you need us to fight too? From your eagerness, we thought you wanted to handle it by yourself. Glad we saved the snarky comments until after the danger of being mauled to death has passed. Okay, we don't need to do anything on the first turn, so poke. Give the bear something to be angry about. Bring it on, Yogi. Okay, that's AoE. Yogi's got a bit of punch to him. I'm really tempted to swap out Elian for Camille so I can see his stats, so we can try to track his SP. So yeah, you can see how damaging that crit was. So right here, just defend. She should still have aggro. We'll mist her a bit. Your turn, Yogi. Holy crap. Okay, that's getting ridiculous. 2 crits in a row. Now, the thing about buffs is they do not, they sort of stack, but they do not refresh. Okay, when he defends, you defend, because he's going to do his AoE. So I'm saying this, if you use Battlefield Tyrant, you'll get defense +4, but it'll be for 1 turn. And then after that turn passes, it goes back to defense 2 for 2 more turns, and so on. Do I have the AoE regen? No, I do not. Damn. She gets that at 42. So we're gonna put that on herself, and she's gonna be on healing duty while Arya smacks the bear around a bit. Another freaking crit. So that's 3 in a row, I think. I'm also not seeing any counterattacks, just saying. So let's see, if he follows a pattern right here, he will defend. Pounce. That could have been pretty bad. Ah, she's bleeding. Damn it. The arrow, in case you're wondering, wait for it, it's the next symbol. That one is the chance to counterattack. So the enemy should show signs of fatigue when he starts actually getting low. It's just... we're not there yet. Putting this on Lucian because I know it's coming. Is it gonna be yet another crit? Oh, we finally got a block. Ah, it did not not show fatigue. There you go, 150 EXP because that thing sucked. And we're awesome. More so the latter than the former. Thank you, my liege. I'm sorry I couldn't handle it myself. What nonsense are you spotting, soldier? You bought enough time for these two men. How is that not good enough? Dame Lucien's right, miss. If not for you, we'd be a heap of meat by the time the companions arrived. You've done your part, now let us do ours. We'll take you back to the village and tend to your wounds. We'll leave you two to handle the rest, then. There are preparations we need to attend to in Levantine Church. Preparations, my lieges? What for? The day of sorrow is almost upon us, soldier. The Sky-Mother's tear may not yet be visible to the naked eye, but the church has confirmed its presence. In a few days, it will present itself to all. It'll be a rare moment to pray to Almighty Deus, one that we must cherish so that he may grant us his holiest of blessings. Deus, what a time to be alive. My grandmother used to tell me stories about witnessing it, and I think I'd be able to see it for myself. Come on, let's hurry. I can't wait to share the news with everybody in the village. Against my better judgment, let's just look around. Since people left, could there be any sparklings? Because this would be a good place to hide in the honor medal. Specifically, can we go under here, and under the canopy? Gotta take a quick peek at the spring, and then I'll be on my way. I don't know if there still is a save point on every screen. There was one in the first game, and I would not be surprised if that's a practice that carried over into the sequel. But yeah, when we get to Mudtown, I'm gonna take a break for a little while. I don't know how far Act 1 stretches because they didn't have it broken down in the demo. I'm kind of hoping that maybe the water thing, when we drop her Lana off, that'll be the end of Act 1. In case you're wondering, the game is supposed to be a minimum of twice as long as the first game, which is a good sign, I imagine. The first game ended like as soon as you think things would start picking up. Back in a sec. Okay, back from my break. So we'll make the walk back. I'm kind of torn on whether I should fight. I'll fight two things. This is... Forgot all about that. Right in my freaking ears. I don't know what new skills are in the game entirely, so there may be things that actually make the random fights less of a slog. I guess, like, there's a case for Renard if you're going to use that move that takes out half his HP. That's right, I also need to appraise the items. We'll hit the guy on the entrance area. You. Come on down. I was hoping for more than this at the least, but yeah. Don't defend, don't defend. Of course it defends. So that consistently has been doing 1,000. It should die here anyway, which is why I was willing to use the Deus' Wrath there. Yeah, it's twice as strong as her normal attack. Got a tusk and a leather. I might have been better off actually fighting that guy. So we need to drop Alana off in the church, but before we do that I'm going to duck down to the market. I did not find any medals here. My friend from Mudtown visits me here every once in a while. I'd like to go there instead sometimes, but I'm definitely afraid of wild animals. Well, we just thinned out the herd a little bit for you. Of course, that means the ones that are still there are bigger, better, and badder than the other ones, but I digress. Yeah, we've been in this building, I remember that layout. The heck? Okay, there's a new glitch in the game, I guess. Yeah, right here we have the geese arm, longsword. That's okay. That was worth seeing. We'll have to see if the devs can patch that out relatively quickly. But here's the important thing. Leather is still fairly valuable. If you need money, grind the pigs into dust. So we'll sell 6 of those for some livra. So these were not here in the beta. This place was literally just accessories. As I showed in the prologue, I think. So I'm gonna get 6 of these, 1 for each character. Yeah, I'll do it. And I'll get a few of these, but I'm not gonna go crazy. I can always do some grinding off camera and stuff. As for the clothes, like this is what Reed's wearing, I think, and then this would be a minor upgrade. I'm not sure if it's really worth it. Yeah, they don't sell it here. The only place I know that sells the scraps of metal is Bod. There'll probably be more stuff later on, but yeah. Best pork roast in the Levant realm. Try a bite of some slices on top of garlic bread and prove the claim for yourself. Levantine doesn't have any farms of its own. It relies on daily shipments from nearby villages to provide fresh produce for the city. Can we talk to that guy? Does not look like we can. Oh well, let's go ditch the brat at the church and be on our way. Church is it up here? Yeah, it is. You can see this place is now big enough for me to actually get lost in. Greetings, honored companions. How can the church help you today? Hey, Elise, can you help us prep Alana for the upcoming ceremony in Godland? We brought along some pure water from Mudtown, too. Thought it might help. So, notice it still says item gained. Actually, you wouldn't know still, but it was like this in beta. So we're actually giving away the item here. We're not getting more spring water. Oh, how reliable of you to have everything at the ready. We can get started then, if you'll please follow us, Lady Levant. See you all later, I guess. Don't forget your promise to play with me after the coming back, Camille. Of course I won't forget. Prepare well, Alana. It's a very important ceremony and you have to be at your best. This way, Lady Levant. Really, Renard? The head cleric of the Levantine Cathedral? What, don't tell me you don't think clerics don't deserve to have some fun. This is Levantine, not Godland. It's not like I made her break any rules. In fact, I learned about what can and cannot be done. Right, Arya? When you asked about the daily life of a cleric, I thought you were actually interested in learning. I should have known better what that knowledge was for. I was indeed interested. That such knowledge later proved to be useful in forming a bond with a cleric. That's a whole nother matter entirely, isn't it? Enough about me. We have a blacksmith and tailor to look for. Which one are we going to find first? Doesn't it take a long time to sew a dress from the start, especially something as elaborate as the one we're asking for? I think we should start with the tailor. I agree. A trade sale like Grenoble must have a talented tailor. Lord Robert Rhine may be able to give us a recommendation. So that's referring to the fact that Evie will not be there until you speak to Robert. My opinion differs. We should start by looking for a suitable blacksmith. The Sacred Sword is a relic that only a very few people should tamper with. We should go to Fort Griveau and ask Lupin to open the old Leroux documents. There we should find a lead on a suitable smith. So you talk to Lupin, then he sends you to Orsi or Sia or wherever the place is. Whichever we do first, we'll have to stop by Grenoble to get to either. Let's get there and decide on the way which we should prioritize. There should be a ship that can take us out of the city and the docks nearby. So I was wondering if that would be the start of Act 2 or not. We'll actually go to Grenoble and then I'll put a break in the video. We'll pick up there next time, and depending on how long it takes me to find the frickin' fairies, we may actually do both bosses in one video. Just a reminder, you do have to use different parties for them, so make sure your guys are properly equipped. And on that topic, let's go ahead and slap those pauldrons on. Oops. okay, that'll give them a little bit more survivability. If it's really bad, I can come back here and get the armor stuff, but it's only like a 10-point difference. The pauldrons are worth 20. Right, you can go down here. Now that I think about it, is there anything sparkling over here? Yeah, I already got the one in the crate. So yeah, no honor medals. Actually, I have an idea. Let's see, inventory. Would they be considered a key item? Because I think there was like a list of them in the first game, so maybe they're not in the game anymore, I don't know. Greetings, my lieges. Are you hanging out by any chance? We must attend to matters in Grenoble. Can your ship take us there? Of course, my lieges. The ship is bound for Babat, but Grenoble is on the way. We'll gladly drop you off there, say the word will set out. You can come back here at any time. There's no point of no return coming up that I know of, so if you want to come back, by all means, just hop on the boat and come. So, where should we go first? There's a skilled tailor right here in the city. My family commissions him every time we need new clothes. I've kept track of his whereabouts, but I'm sure my father and brother will know. Let's find them at the Rhine Mansion. On the other hand, my family should know a blacksmith skilled enough to restore Garou. We used to be the strongest military house in the realm, after all. We can ask my cousin Lupin about it. He should be in Fort Griveau just a short walk from here. Doesn't matter which we do first, as long as we start right away. I'm itching to do some traveling. So real quick, in case you're wondering about Garou, it's literally been sitting there rusting in blood since Severin used it on the companions. That's what they're referring to when they say, we need to get it restored. They kind of need to get their blood off of it, for one. So yeah, when we pick up here next time, we will find a tailor and a blacksmith. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.